Tim again, still at the Galaxy S5 launch. I'm going to show you just a quick tour of TouchWiz and some of the changes that have gone on here. It's quite a big overhaul. Actually, so far, we're kind of liking it. So lock screen, you can see there's definitely some animations and stuff going on there. Your camera shortcut down here, which you can swipe any way to get into it. But you'll notice just little changes in the UI overall that just seem to look a lot more beautiful than it has in the past. So if we unlock, the actual home screen doesn't necessarily look all that much different. You can page between all your different home screens. And if you swipe from the left, you actually get into the My Magazine UI, which just shows you, news stories and things. You can probably customize all that stuff. There's actually a bunch of settings in here for your social networks and things like that, so you can customize the way that works. One thing I did want to show you is that no menu buttons. You actually do have a multitasking button, so it works just like it does on any other Android device. If we go into the pull down, you can see this complete overhaul. You now sort of got circular shortcuts, and if you tap on the more shortcuts, it just sort of does this cool animation rather than flipping to a whole new page. So you got that. You can obviously customize that. You got your brightness slider, notifications, things like that. Jump into settings, you'll see this massive settings list. I'm going to scroll through so you can see how long this thing is. So there's settings for everything. You can actually change the layout of this. I think the default view is this grid view with big old icons. But I want to show you a couple of cool things. One in particular is, I don't know if you guys can see it right now, it's floating around right here. So it's kind of like a floating chat head style quick shortcut thing where you can add 5 of your favorite apps, and it sort of just goes with you wherever you are. So if I go back home, you can see it's there. I can put it around, and then if I just leave it alone for a while, it'll eventually sort of go transparent, so it kind of hides up on whatever you're doing. If we jump back in, actually, let's go into the camera. So camera, they've redone quite a bit of this. Take a picture of this guy's head. You can just touch to focus. It's got new animations and things like that going on. It's really fast. There's definitely no delay like we saw with the Note 3 camera a little bit. So there's tons of settings in here. Obviously, we can't go through all of them right now. You can just see the list goes on and on. You can get into modes, and there's a few modes here. It looks like Samsung's going to allow you to download more. So it doesn't come loaded with, it looks like 30 like they used to. It's trimmed it down a little bit, let you sort of pick and choose. That's the camera. I can show you again in settings. You can just see all the different stuff you've got going on in here. So there's different settings for multi-window, which you can see is kind of open right there. So multi-window can be hidden with pulling the back or long pressing to bring it back. So that's still there. You guys have seen that before. It doesn't look like that's changed much. There's this thing called Toolbox, and this is this little floaty thing. It's called Toolbox. So you can customize that right there. One-handed operation, you guys have seen. There's easy mode still. Here's where you would set up your fingerprint scanner, and we'll show you that a little bit later. And otherwise, I mean, these settings just kind of go on and on. You can see the overall theme has really changed here in TouchWiz. Here's what the dialer looks like, contacts, all that stuff. So it's all changed quite a bit. If you jump into the app drawer, it still kind of looks like TouchWiz, but it's definitely just a little bit nicer and cleaner. See, there's all these Gear Fit apps and things like that for all their new accessories, wearables, health stuff, which we'll get into in just a little bit. You can double tap this to launch an S voice just like you could before. And one thing we thought was kind of interesting, you can actually say, "Okay, Google," and it'll do searches for you by being on one of the home screens, which we thought was a Nexus 5 thing. So anyways, this has just been a kind of a quick tour. There's obviously a ton to go through. Once we get the device in our hands for an extended period of time, you'll see more. We'll be back with more, though. Droid Life. Peace.